Elena Cruz entered Dubai chasing a better life. But her connection with five powerful millionaires exposed a world of secrets, luxury, and danger. When she suddenly disappeared, a shocking mystery began to unfold. In the busy city of Dubai, where luxury cars moved through crowded streets and massive towers dominated the skyline, a young Filipina spa worker named Elena Cruz appeared to be living a simple and ordinary life. She arrived in the city with hopes of earning enough money to support her family back home. Like many workers chasing better opportunities, Elena started with long hours, limited savings, and a quiet routine focused on building a more secure future. She worked at a small spa where she spent most of her days taking care of clients and learning about the world of wealthy customers who visited the area. Outside of work, Elena lived in a modest apartment and carefully managed every expense. Her biggest goal was to provide a better life for herself and her loved ones. Over time, however, people around Elena noticed a dramatic transformation. Her lifestyle began changing in ways that surprised those who knew her. She was seen wearing designer outfits, visiting exclusive locations, and spending time in places usually reserved for Dubai's wealthy elite. Her social media pages showed images of luxury hotels, expensive meals, and a lifestyle that seemed impossible for someone working a regular spa job. Friends and coworkers started wondering how Elena had suddenly gained access to such a different world. Behind the glamorous pictures was a hidden story that few people knew. Elena had entered a circle of powerful and wealthy individuals who would later become connected to one of the most mysterious events surrounding her life. What appeared to be a dream beginning was slowly becoming a story filled with secrets, questions, and unexpected danger. The investigation later revealed that Elena Cruz had become connected to five wealthy businessmen who belonged to Dubai's powerful social circles. Each man was successful in his own field, with businesses, properties, and financial influence that gave them access to a world far away from Elena's earlier life. Their names were rarely connected to controversy, and they were known for maintaining private lifestyles away from public attention. Elena's relationships with these men developed over time, and each connection appeared different from the others. She moved between different social circles, attending private gatherings and visiting exclusive locations that most people could only imagine. Her sudden access to luxury raised questions among those who watched her transformation from a hardworking spa employee into someone surrounded by wealth. The five millionaires believed they understood Elena, but they did not realize how complicated her situation had become. Behind the expensive gifts and comfortable lifestyle, there were layers of secrets that none of them fully understood. As time passed, small details began to create suspicion. The men discovered that their lives had crossed paths in ways they never expected. They realized Elena was not just connected to one wealthy figure, but had relationships with all five of them. The discovery created tension among people who were used to controlling their own worlds. Their businesses, reputations, and personal lives suddenly faced uncertainty. The woman they thought they knew became a mystery. What started as a story about wealth and opportunity slowly turned into something much darker. The relationships that once appeared glamorous began revealing hidden conflicts, unanswered questions, and a dangerous chain of events that would eventually change everyone involved. Months before Elena Cruz disappeared, she began preparing for something that nobody around her understood. While continuing to live her luxurious lifestyle, she secretly collected information about the people around her. Hidden away inside her apartment were personal notes, photographs, and digital records that showed a much deeper side of her life. The files revealed details about her relationships with the five wealthy businessmen and moments they believed would remain private. Elena had carefully documented important events, financial arrangements, and unusual situations that happened during her time in Dubai. It appeared that she was keeping these records as a form of protection, although the reason behind it remained unclear. When investigators later discovered these materials, the case took a completely different direction. Elena was no longer viewed only as someone caught in a complicated relationship with wealthy individuals. She became someone who may have known information powerful enough to create serious problems for people with a lot to lose. The investigation uncovered another mystery. A significant digital file that Elena had stored was missing. The disappearance of that file raised questions about who had access to her personal information and why someone wanted it gone. As detectives examined her apartment and online history, they noticed signs that someone may have been watching Elena's activities before she vanished. Her movements, meetings, and connections appeared to have attracted attention from people who wanted to know what she was doing. The hidden records became one of the most important pieces of the investigation. They suggested that Elena's story was not only about money and relationships, but also about secrets that could change the lives of everyone connected to her. One evening, Elena Cruz left her apartment after preparing for a private gathering connected to the wealthy circle she had recently become part of. It was a normal-looking night, and nothing about her departure suggested that it would become the final time many people saw her. Security cameras recorded her leaving the building, carrying her personal items and appearing calm as she walked toward a waiting vehicle. Hours passed, but Elena never returned to her apartment. At first, those close to her believed she might have taken a short trip or decided to stay somewhere else. However, as days went by, concern began to grow. Her phone became inactive, her social media accounts showed no new activity, and there were no signs that she had made any plans to leave Dubai. Her family started searching for answers, and the missing person investigation quickly gained attention. Detectives began reviewing Elena's final movements, focusing on the people who had been closest to her before she disappeared. The 5 millionaires connected to Elena became a major part of the investigation. Their wealth and influence made the case more complicated, as investigators had to carefully examine every detail surrounding their connections with her. As authorities looked deeper, they discovered that Elena's final days were filled with unusual activity. Several meetings had taken place, and some information from that period appeared unclear. The more investigators searched, the more questions emerged. The disappearance of Elena Cruz transformed from a personal mystery into a case involving hidden relationships, powerful individuals, and unanswered questions. Every piece of evidence seemed to reveal another layer of a story that was far more complicated than anyone first imagined. The investigation changed direction when detectives uncovered a hidden connection between Elena Cruz and the 5 wealthy businessmen. What first appeared to be a complicated relationship involving money and luxury slowly revealed something much more serious. Elena had discovered information about one of the business operations connected to the powerful group, and the details she collected created fear among those who wanted to protect their reputations. The missing file from Elena's apartment became the center of attention. Investigators believed it contained important evidence that could explain why someone wanted her information erased. The file was not just a collection of personal memories. It appeared to include records, documents, and details that connected different events in her life. As detectives continued their work, they noticed signs that someone had attempted to remove traces of Elena's existence. Some online records connected to her disappeared, certain photographs were no longer available, and people who once knew her became difficult to reach. These unusual actions suggested that someone was trying to control the story surrounding her disappearance. The investigation also revealed that Elena's relationships were more complex than they seemed. She was not simply living a luxurious lifestyle. She had become involved in a world where money, influence, and secrets were closely connected. The 5 millionaires, who once appeared untouchable because of their wealth and status, now face questions about their connection to Elena. Every new discovery created more uncertainty about what had truly happened. The case no longer focused only on Elena's personal choices or relationships. It became a mystery about hidden information, powerful people, and the dangerous consequences of discovering secrets that were never meant to come to light. After months of investigation, authorities finally began uncovering the truth behind Elena Cruz's disappearance. The evidence collected from different sources showed that her situation was far more complicated than anyone first believed. What started as a story about a young woman surrounded by wealth and luxury turned into a case involving hidden secrets, personal conflicts, and powerful people trying to protect their own interests. Investigators discovered that Elena had become trapped between different individuals who were concerned about what she knew. Her connections with wealthy businessmen had given her access to a world of influence, but it also placed her in a position where she could become a threat to people who wanted certain information to remain hidden. The evidence suggested that the events leading to her tragedy were connected to the secrets surrounding her relationships and the information she had collected. The files, records, and details she left behind helped investigators understand the pressure and risks she had been facing before she disappeared. As the investigation moved forward, the image of a glamorous lifestyle began to disappear. The luxury hotels, expensive gifts, and exclusive gatherings that once surrounded Elena were replaced by questions about trust, loyalty, and betrayal. The people connected to the case faced serious consequences as investigators uncovered more details. Their public images were damaged, and the world they had built around wealth and influence began to fall apart. Elena's story became a reminder that behind a life filled with appearances and comfort, there could be hidden struggles that nobody sees. The final discoveries revealed that her journey was not simply about money or relationships, but about the dangers that can come when secrets become more valuable than people. Years after the investigation into Elena Cruz's disappearance, her story remained one of the most mysterious cases connected to Dubai's wealthy elite. The details surrounding her life continued to attract attention because her journey represented both ambition and the hidden dangers that can exist behind a glamorous appearance. To many people, Elena was remembered as a young woman who arrived in Dubai searching for a better future. She started with limited resources and worked hard to improve her life. Over time, she entered a world of luxury, wealth, and powerful connections that seemed impossible compared to where she began. However, the investigation revealed that the lifestyle she gained came with risks she never expected. The expensive gifts, private events, and connections with influential people created opportunities, but they also placed her in a situation filled with secrets and uncertainty. The case changed how many people viewed relationships built around money and power. It showed that appearances can hide complicated realities, and that people who seem to have everything may still face challenges that remain invisible to the outside world. Elena's records, the people connected to her, and the unanswered questions surrounding her final days became part of a story that continued to be discussed long after the investigation ended. Her name became linked not only with mystery, but also with the lessons learned from her life. Her experience showed how quickly a dream of success can become complicated when trust, wealth, and hidden information collide. In the end, Elena Cruz's story remained a haunting reminder that behind every perfect image, there may be a truth waiting to be discovered, and sometimes the greatest mysteries are hidden in the places where everything appears perfect.